Hi guys, it's Pamela from the Fiber Sprite, and today I'm going to show you how to use our Diz. Traditionally, a Diz is used as part of the last step of making roving from comb to top. But there are lots of other ways that you can use a Diz in your fiber preparation for spinning. Good fiber preparation is key to getting the yarn that you want. So a Diz can be a really handy tool to have around. We have 3 different kinds of Diz styles in our shop. We have the sheep Diz, we have the alpaca Diz, and we have an oval Diz. So all 3 of them work the same way. They all have 4 different sized holes in the center, and the size hole that you choose is just going to be whether you want a thinner or a thicker yarn. And our Diz also comes with a wraps per inch tool through the center so that you can measure your consistency of your yarn while you're spinning. So I've already combed some fiber on my hand combs to get us started. And so the first step now is going to be to pull the fiber through one of these holes. I'm going to use the second biggest hole. And when I pull my fiber through, I'm using a collapsible eye needle. You can find them in the jewelry aisle of the craft store. They're really inexpensive. I happen to like the way that they work, and they come in packs of 4 in case you lose one. But you could also use a crochet hook as long as it's able to fit through the hole, or you can sort of poke the fiber through with your fingers. So you start by pulling a small piece through, and then you're going to pull the fiber, and then you're going to push the Diz all the way back to the tines, and then you're going to pull about a staple length towards you, and then push back to the Diz. Now I'm holding my hand comb because I don't have a stand for it, but if you have a stand for your hand comb, or if you have a hackle, you would use that. So as I'm going across, I want to make sure that it doesn't just stop at one single section. So to do that, you can angle the Diz so that it starts to draw in more fiber from the next side. So I'm going from left to right. You could go from right to left, it really doesn't matter, it just depends on your preference. So it's just a push and a pull. You're not really holding on to the Diz as you use it, just pushing and pulling. So I'm going to stop here, and you can see that I have a nice consistent piece of roving. This does take some practice, so don't be too scared if your first pieces of roving you keep breaking them, or sometimes you'll pull too much fiber through the hole and it'll get stuck. So this does take some practice, but once you get the hang of it, you'll find that it's a really useful way to prepare your roving. Now you'll notice that there are some little bits of roving still on the comb. That's going to be normal, and that's going to be a normal part of your fiber waste. This is where all of the little knots, the second cuts, the neps, the noils, all the things that are going to make a bumpy yarn or an inconsistent yarn. So we're just going to not worry about that. That's going to be considered waste, and you're not going to use that. So that's how you use the Diz in the traditional way. You could also use it to pull fiber, prepared fiber off of hand cards or a drum carder. That would probably get you somewhere between a woolen and a worsted prep. So to use the wraps per inch tool, all you have to do is simply wrap the yarn that you spin. This is a different yarn, but you wrap the yarn that you spin around this section. So we've marked off with an indentation in the wood a 1-inch section, so that's what you're going to use. And as you're wrapping the yarn, it's important not to pull it because that makes it thinner, and it's also important not to jam it next to its neighbors. So you just wrap evenly and consistently without pulling it or jamming it. You don't want to have too much, you don't want to have big gaps, like that would be a big gap and that wouldn't get you a consistent reading. You just want to be nice and even until you get to the end. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wraps per inch. So as I'm spinning, if this is a single ply yarn that I want to end up with, then as I'm spinning, occasionally I might want to stop and check and see if my wraps per inch are still 9 wraps per inch. If I've gone up to 11, I might want to stop and make it a little bit thicker. If I've gone down to 8, I might want to make it a little bit thinner. Of course, if you're making a plied yarn, you would need to know the wraps per inch of your singles, not of your finished yarn. The wraps per inch tool can also be helpful in figuring out what kind of gauge that you should probably knit your final yarn at that. So there are lots of charts on the internet that show how many wraps per inch correspond to what kind of gauge and what's the normal needle size and the normal gauge that you'll get from knitting with that. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know if you have any questions. If you'd like to check out our Dizzes, you can do so at fibersprite.com. Thanks for watching.